There are two times that you're going to get horrible communication out of me. One of them is when I am extremely tired, and the other is when I am extremely flustered. On the bright side, I got a lot of the evidence that I needed, got a lot of the witnesses up. A lot of people wanted to pretend that the trip to Virginia was just about Natalie. It wasn't. Now, there's three of the people that I planned on visiting on that trip that obviously I didn't get to. I barely had enough money on that trip to make it back to Boulder. Matter of fact, I didn't have enough to get back to Boulder. I had to call up some people and borrow some money. Yeah, the whole situation sucked. On the bright side, I got to help clean up Hurricane Matthew that was in um, a little state called North Carolina. But that's not what this video is about, is it? Today, well, we'll start with the good news. Um, that guy who was talking to me yesterday, Iron Horse, he's supposed to call me today, and that's good news. I got even better news than that, though. Um, I got to talk to Molly Smith today. She's a pretty important witness, and she's got her own reasons, just like everyone else, for, well, not coming forward earlier. A lot of that is that we just simply couldn't get a hold of each other. That's neither here nor there. The fact is that the evidence that I told you she had, she's still got it. And she's going to be bringing it into town. That's fucking great news. After all of this stuff has been stolen over and over, fuck. The two people that had USB drives for safekeeping just in case something happened to me were Molly Smith and Kayla Trujillo. So we still got a long way to go, but it's a good start. Now, obviously, I have not slept. I was up all night last night. I had stuff that I was going to do this morning, but when you live with somebody else, you got to do your best to not disrupt their situation. So, since my roommate basically comes here when he needs a break from whatever else is going on, he comes here and he plays some video games and he leaves. So while he's playing his video games, I do my best not to disrupt him or anything like that. Also, the internet connection ain't that great when he's playing an online game and I'm doing something online. It really isn't quite good enough to do both. Um, Other good news, I had multiple people I was going to see, and I got to save conversations with multiple people that I was going to see, like Amanda. Conversations with her show that yes, I was planning on visiting Amanda. It wasn't just a trip to go see Natalie, it was a trip to see a lot of people. Now, one of them was Brett Roloff, and we got the conversations with him on here, more than one. We got the conversations with Amanda that also show that, and obviously not all of the conversations with Amanda are going to be on here. There are a lot of them that are private. I still have them. They're still saved. Um, there's also a lady named Mahalia Jean Pierre. Um, she's one of those people that went Christian on us. Not necessarily real Christian, because a real Christian would have spoken up. But I saved the messages between her and I during that period of time on Facebook. Obviously, without the phone that I had at the time, being able to show that is not a happening thing. But at least I was able to get the evidence from Facebook and save that and show it on here. The guy who's going to be calling me tonight, there's a situation with his ex that I've spoken out about a few times. There's a few situations with his ex that I've spoken out about. He can verify that they're true. That's pretty important. He's also one of the people that I was planning on going to see in Virginia. The problem with all of this situation is that the cops assumed that I was the killer, and all they had to do was commit a few minor crimes and it would make it okay. And all they had to do afterwards, when they realized that they'd screwed up so badly, is continue to do everything in their power and make every excuse not to listen. I tried to explain that I needed someone there in person for my safety, or these officers will do things and get away with things by calling me mentally ill, going out of their way to pretend that it means I'm schizophrenic. Their protocol when you go in alone is pretty screwy. The other thing, like here in America, y'all will literally murder a homeless person for being ugly. I do mean that literally. But it's not just homeless people. I remember there was a guy in Boulder, Colorado, who was a burn victim. His whole face was burned up, you know. It was a horrible situation. Matter of fact, there was also a homeless man in a similar situation that had been burned up, and he was in a wheelchair. That guy was good to everybody. But of course, people wanted to start rumors about this guy, that he was some sort of pedophile or some creepy stuff like that. So the entire time that he was homeless and in this wheelchair and burned from, basically head to toe, people treated him horribly. I didn't find out until after he was dead that the man lost his entire family in a fire. Imagine that. You lose your whole family in a fire, then you're homeless, you're crippled, and people treat you like you're a pedophile because of your scarring. So there was an instance where there was a man who was not homeless, who was also a burn victim. Now, he wasn't in a wheelchair, but there was a woman I knew named Sam. She wanted to scream and shout and claim, that guy's a pedophile. Look at him. He looks like a pedophile. And there's another guy that I know named Frankie. Frankie, he was trying to get together with Sam, and he wanted to go beat up this poor burn victim. It was a horrible situation. Thank goodness the doorman, now at the time, Old Chicago was still on the corner of the mall. It was on the very, very west end of the Pearl Street Mall. And right next to it was a pub. And that pub had a very, very, very large bouncer who was a friend of the burn victim. Frankie wanted to go beat up the burn victim. Next thing you know, he about shit his pants. I stopped being friends with Samantha over that. That's not okay. To go out of your way to pretend that somebody must be a horrible person because they're ugly. I hate to think what Frankie would have done to that man if that bouncer hadn't been there. I mean, obviously I was there. Obviously I was saying something, obviously. But at the same time, that bouncer there was deterrent. That prevented Frankie from trying to march through me to impress Sam. Now, that story is neither here nor there, correct? Well, that's not true. When you have that much hatred towards people that literally never did a thing to you, it shows how disgusting our society is. It makes me wonder, do these things happen in other countries? If I was in South Africa and I was a burn victim, would people do that to me in South Africa? Would they do that to me in China? Would they do that to me in Japan or France? Or is this an American thing? Who knows? There's a lot of things that I don't explain well. It's not that I don't have the education. I definitely have the education. But I get flustered or I get tired. Right now, I'm too tired to even go through the shit I gotta go through. Oh, I don't know, Ralph. I got so much anxiety from this. I got to be afraid at every point in time that my predators will commit felonies again and get away with what they've been doing. Now, of course, the evidence that Molly Smith has, and of course, Molly Smith's testimony, that's pretty important. Now, I haven't gotten her testimony, and I do hope to be able to get that. It's no guarantee. You know, the fact that she's still got that USB thing is, it's got me beyond ecstatic. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm not showing the emotion that I should about it. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry for being tired. I don't feel that's something I should have to apologize for. And then with Ed, the other guy I was going to visit, he's going to call me tonight. His ex has been missing a while. There's no obituary or anything like that. People are claiming that she's dead, but you know, they didn't get onto her Facebook and do the rest in peace thing like they do with everybody else. There's no obituary, there's no nothing. Meanwhile, the only person that I know of that can actually verify whether it's true or not is Christine's best friend, and his name is TJ. He says that she's dead, but last time she pulled this, she used him for the same reason. Boulder PD and find out if that really did happen. I mean, the story that I heard was that she overdosed in her apartment in Boulder. I can't find anything on it. Knowing her, it's a definite possibility. Matter of fact, there's a video I made a while back where I say, you know what, it's horrible that she's got a place. Now she's got a place where she can do drugs whenever she wants. She's got a place where people will give her drugs in order to stay there. She's probably going to overdose. It's not that I have some sort of magic powers to see the future, it's the odds. There are certain risk factors that put someone at greater risk or less risk of these things. Well, I got to end this video. Roommate's back.